Hello my friends, and welcome to the Empty Your Bucket Nutrition Plan channel. My name is JT Tapias and I am a professional fitness life coach, and I enjoy speaking about things that edify the mind, the body, and the spirit from a Christian perspective. Today we're going to be speaking about how to lose weight by hacking yourself. Ready? Let's go. All right, my friends, if this is your first time on this channel, I'd love to encourage you to hit that bell notification so that every time we release a new video, you will be the first one to know. Today, my friends, we're going to be speaking about how to lose weight by hacking yourself. Now, when you hear the word weight loss alongside hacking, you're probably thinking I'm speaking about hacking one of your limbs off in order to lose weight. And that is not what I am speaking about. I am speaking about actually hacking into your mindset, into your thought system, into your behavior patterns in order to create a different outcome. So in order to do that, we need to collect some data on ourselves. Now, hear me out. This isn't easy, right? This requires work. This requires consciousness around food, people, places, things, triggers, and we're going to be speaking about all those things today. And so the question I often ask my clients when they cheat on their diet is, well, what did you say to yourself? And they generally sit around and think around and just thinking, and they're just wondering, and they're like, I didn't think anything. I just did it. I'm like, no. We're cognitive human beings. We think, we feel, and we act. And so then, what did you think? And all of a sudden they say, well, I just basically gave myself permission. I justified that behavior because I felt like I deserved it. I hear that all the time. I deserved it. Then the next question is, what time do you usually get triggered and tempted? And most people have a really hard time figuring that out. In my 24 years of experience, that time usually is in the evenings. After 7 p.m. is when most people get triggered, and that is one of the difficult times of the day because you're coming back from work, you're stressed, you're trying to loosen up before you go to bed. You may grab a glass of wine, you may eat some leftovers from the day before because it just feels comfortable. It's the warm thing to do, and since our brain is there to keep us comfortable, and it's always seeking preservation mechanisms and dynamics, then food, calories, becomes that thing that the brain is always asking you to do, right? Subconsciously just asking you to reach for that piece of pasta or that piece of cheesecake or that glass of wine, that thing that's going to keep you comfortable, right? And so it generally happens in the evenings. And then, of course, the question that is a very popular question with my clients is, what does the sabotager say to you? When I first introduced that term, people are sort of taken back and they're like, what do you mean the sabotager? I'm like, well, you've seen the little movie where you have an angel here and you have the devil here, right? The little angel is telling you the right thing to do, and the little devil seems to speak a little louder and always tries to justify it. And it actually tells you the thing you want to hear the most. And so then how do you battle with these two things? What does that sabotager say? What does that little devil say to you? And it's like, well, I always feel like, how bad can it be? Just a little piece of this or a little something here, a little something there. And what I like to do is deconstruct sentences. And I always say, how did that sentence start off? And it's like, how bad can so-and-so be or XYZ be? And I'm like, you see where the sentence goes wrong, right? The word, how bad can XYZ be, is in there. Instead of justifying, instead of listening to that sabotager, instead of actually trying to bring these things in, why don't we just cut them out altogether? Why don't we speak to that sabotager before those words that the little devil, the little sabotager brings into our mindset that actually moves us in the direction of the thing that we shouldn't be doing? What if we speak to that sabotager, right? What if we start making that little angel voice a lot louder than the sabotager's voice? And people sort of laugh and they think it's something silly, but I can tell you right now that some of the people that have been able to overcome triggers and temptations are people that are utilizing these, recognizing them first, right? The sabotager is telling you the things that feel good, that are comfortable, but are getting you in trouble, and being able to recognize that voice, but listen to this voice of who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. When this little angel here, this voice becomes louder, the sabotager all of a sudden starts to dissipate and sort of fade into the background. And now all you can hear is this little voice that's telling you who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. Lastly, my friends, people, places, and things is something that is in the world of addiction language. If you've been in those circles for any reason, you realize that people, places, and things is something that is quite often spoken about. And people talks about how you relate to your circle of influence. You probably have friends that every time you see them, it's a drinking event, or every time you see them, it's an eating event. And this is how you connect to these people. So we have to take inventory. And here is the hard work, my friend. People, places, and things, when you start to look at those, when you start to take inventory of those things, you start to realize that if you want to change, you're going to have to either remove yourself from people, places, and things, or you're going to have an intervention conversation with these people and see if these people are willing to support you and back you up in what it is you're trying to do. And if they're not, then you have a decision to make. But it's really important that we take inventory of the people in our lives and see how we're connecting to those people. And I might be wrong. You might have in your circle of influence, you might be one of the fortunate people that has people that are supportive. And every time you connect with these people, you're going for a run, you're going for a walk, you're going for a workout. And if that's the case, then good for you. But you want to take inventory and really, really seek the people that are going to encourage you on this new path, this new journey. Secondly, places. There are places that you go to where you are triggered and tempted. You want to be very aware of these temptation triggers, and you want to step away from those places. That could be a bar, that could be a restaurant, that could be someone's house, but you need to be highly aware that these places exist in your world, and you need to strategize around that and remove yourself from these things so that you're no longer triggered and tempted. Lastly, things, speak about crutches. We have compensation systems. We have things that we do to sort of cope with life, right? Call it alcohol, call it food, call it sometimes even exercise, but anything that is done in exaggeration can break us. So we want to make sure that we're watching for the things that are not contributing to this new lifestyle that we're trying to embrace. And so in hacking into ourselves for weight loss, one of the things that we know is that when we start to recognize patterns like times that we're triggered and tempted, things we say to ourselves, people, places, and things, when we start taking inventory of all these things, we need to come up with a strategy. Number one, you need to have healthy snacks around for those tempting times, for those times where you're mostly triggered and tempted. Number two, you need to start reframing conversations so that those conversations become empowering towards the things that you're looking to do. We need to recognize those times when we're mostly triggered and tempted and when we feel the weakest, and this is when we need to create strategies and have things in place so that we are not overcome by temptation and triggers. We need to speak to our sabotager, right? That is the thing that if I leave you with anything in this video, it's that. You need to start recognizing that internal dialogue, and we need to reframe it, and we need to start making the voice of that little angel on our side here louder than the little devil, the sabotager, so that we can start making better choices. And when that happens, my friend, it tips the scale in the right direction really, really quick. Lastly, my friend, you need to upgrade your environment, right? This is going to sound harsh, but if you want to soar like an eagle, you can't hang out with scavengers. You need to upgrade your environment. Your people, places, and things have to be upgraded. And listen, I know that's it's not an easy thing. It's actually painful sometimes to remove yourself from these people, places, and things because these are things that you love, people that you love. But if they're not embracing, if they're not helping you move forward and encouraging you and uplifting you and motivating you to encounter this new you, then my friend, you need to make some hard choices. And I made those way back 15 years ago when my life radically changed. And looking back now in retrospect, I don't regret that. It was painful at the time, but I don't regret it because it allowed me to really soar and do things, and that voice, that little angel became louder, and that little sabotager just dissipated to the point where I wasn't even listening to it anymore, and my life got better and better and better. My friend, if you want to lose weight by hacking yourself, these are the things that you must consider. I hope you got something out of this video. Once again, if this is your first time here, I'd love to encourage you to hit that bell notification so that every time we release this information, you will be the first one to know. My friends, my name is JT Tapias with the Empty Your Bucket Nutrition Plan. I hope you enjoy that. I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.